It's one of the biggest mysteries Alaska has seen in some time. What caused hundreds of thousands of seabirds to wash up on our shores?
And as KTV 11's Lauren Maxwell tells us, there's another mystery tonight, why the birds are no longer turning up in droves.
Just kind of checking him over, make sure I don't see any signs of bleeding.
It's a quiet morning at the Bird Treatment and Learning Center.
He is eating on his own now.
Where vet Karen Higgs is examining an injured owl.
He's much quieter than he should be.
But the scene here is in stark contrast.
And that is Red Dot.
To the chaos just 2 months ago when volunteers could barely keep up.
I believe in one day we had 50 birds come through the door.
The sick and starving seabirds were murres, plucked from beaches where most birds had already died. The clinic saw as many as 500 murres in November and December, but lately they haven't seen any.
And all of a sudden that has completely changed. I don't know if people are still seeing them out there, but they're sure not getting grounded. They're sure not washing up on the shores by the hundreds. So another mystery.
And they're common murres that showed up on the hay flats up in Palmer.
Scientists say the die-off has slowed.
These birds are probably likely following the Knik River.
But research into what caused it is going full speed.
And many of the birds, when we perform the necropsies, they actually have empty stomachs, so we're not finding any food.
They know the birds are starving. The bigger question is why.
Probably indicative of something going on in the ecosystem that's not well right now.
When the ocean isn't healthy, it's usually not just one species that's impacted.
Yeah, just from anecdotally, I know that a lot of fishermen are worried. What does this mean for what's going on in the ocean? It's a good question.
A question scientists hope they can answer sooner rather than later. Lauren Maxwell, KTVA 11 News.
Now, scientists say as many as 500,000 murres died. The most recent in mid-February, up to 8,000 showed up on the shores of Lake Iliamna.
These hungry and sick sea lion pups are some of the casualties of warmer El Nino waters. Inside the Channel Islands Marine and Wildlife Institute, volunteers are trying to get the pups to eat sardines and herring.
How much did 120 get?
The animals also get their glucose levels checked and are treated if needed.
I have 2 more animals that I think are crashing.
Sadly, some of these little guys won't make it out of intensive care. Since 2013, when the ocean started warming up, sea lions had to venture farther away from the Channel Islands in search of food.
The babies will stick around for a couple days or 3 or 4 days when they're young, and then of course as time goes on and mom's not coming back, they start to venture off on their own.
And the problem is getting worse.
Then of course last year was unprecedented for us. We had 359. This year we're already at 160, and it's only the middle of March. So we've got a long way to go.
Hold on a sec, let me let her shot.
In the outside pen, a much brighter picture. These sea lions are now eating and working out.
They all just go in and they compete for their fish, which is really good because that'll help them in the wild.
And soon it will be time to go home.
When it's time for these animals to be released, we have an agreement with the island packers, and they donate their boat time for us, and we literally take them out to the Channel Islands and release them where they were born.
El Nino is taking its toll on harbor seals throughout California and right here on the Central Coast.
Scientists say warmer temperatures are causing the animals to starve and even abandon their pups. KION's Maya Holmes has the story.
Right now is the time of the year when harbor seals start having their babies.
Oh gosh, at this point for some of the animals it's just too late.
A volunteer group of naturalists are keeping a watchful eye on them at the Hopkins Marine Station in Pacific Grove. And they say the start of the season has been rough.
Some of them are way too thin to have a healthy birth and have enough milk to feed it.
So far this season, 13 pups have been born, but none of them have survived. Many seals are underweight and starving, suffering from a shortage of food in the Pacific Ocean.
This part of the ocean, the food, the basic nutrition is made in the cold water on the deep.
The warmer temperatures of El Nino are keeping the food in the colder waters, preventing it from rising to the surface. Another problem, sardines and other fish eaten by the seals are migrating to colder waters to escape the El Nino heat.
When they get extremely thin, they're open to all sorts of illnesses and infections. They're living animals that deserve a chance.